Our top story on this Friday night, breaking news out of the Milwaukee area where a growing manhunt is underway at this hour. This after 8 people, including a teenager, were injured in a shooting at a shopping mall. Tonight, police tell NewsNation the situation is still, quote, very active and that suspect is still on the loose. This is what the area looked like earlier this afternoon. Dozens of police cars surrounded the mall as they searched inside. The shooting happened this afternoon at the Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa, just west of Milwaukee. Investigators indicated that the shooting happened inside the Macy's store there. This is what the inside of that mall looks like. You can see the Macy's there at the top of the screen next to a movie theater. Right now, we can tell you the mall is closed until further notice. Again, the suspect still on the loose, and active investigation underway tonight. NewsNation correspondent Michael Shore live at that mall for us. And Michael, what is the scene like at this hour?
Yeah, Rob, that's right. About 5 hours ago, it was very different than what we're looking at here in Wauwatosa now. The Mayfair Mall is just over my shoulder right there, and there were no police here until just a little bit ago. We saw a police siren at the entrance of the mall, most likely helping with the escorting of people who are still inside the mall. Earlier today, just before 3 o'clock is when a lot of that started, and a lot of the reports that were coming in were saying that there was a shooter, there were people shot. Fortunately, and again, we talk about this in these shootings, fortunately, even though we're talking about a mass shooting, there are no fatalities as of now. You mentioned eight victims, 7 of whom were adults. 1 is a teenager. They were brought to Frederick Hospital and Children's Hospital, which are in the area here. We don't know the numbers that are at each hospital, but we do know that none of them were admitted with life-threatening injuries, which is a remarkable thing when you think of a shooter just spraying bullets. What we also know, and we heard this from Barry Weber, who is the chief of police here in Wauwatosa, that they do have a suspect in mind, but it's only somebody who can be identified by the fact that they are a white male in their 20s or 30s, possibly wearing a gray hoodie. So it doesn't really narrow it down. They didn't say that they had any names, and as a matter of fact, the police chief Weber said to us that there is no any reports you hear of a shooter are false, that there is no shooter in custody. They don't know the precise person who did this. But what we also learned today was that when doing these investigations, Wauwatosa is working with the FBI now, and so the FBI is involved in the search for this suspect. Rob?
And Michael, I know it's very early and there's still lots of questions. Is there any sense yet of a possible motive? Was it random? Was it some kind of altercation that started in the mall and that just escalated into this violence, or is all that still open-ended right now?
It's a little open-ended, and I think, what you do learn covering these shootings, unfortunately, Joe, is when you hear from these people early on in these investigations, by the end of it, it's very different than what you hear early. We don't hear of any altercation that precipitated the shooting. It did feel very random. Many of the people who were in the mall are still in the mall because they didn't know where the suspect was. Many of them were in the furniture department downstairs, went into a back storeroom. People were ducking into dressing rooms inside that Macy's, and gradually the police are escorting those people out now, and perhaps, and this is me speculating, not the police, but perhaps they are still looking for that shooter inside the mall, and he may be hiding among those who are still in the mall. They are all being reunited at a furniture store about a mile from here. So until we hear a little bit more about that, what we do know is this is, like you said, a very active investigation, and they are looking for a white male in his 20s or 30s in a gray sweatshirt, but they don't have much more, and if they do, they certainly haven't released it to us. Guys?
Well, Michael, I mean, we've all been inside malls and we've seen how many security cameras they have set up. I mean, they have to have some idea of exactly what happened, what went down, who they're looking for. Have they indicated at all if they're reviewing the footage and what they may have seen to this point?
That's just it, Marty. We weren't allowed to ask questions of the police chief when he was here. I did ask him how many people, as he was walking back to his car, I asked him how many people are still in there. He said a significant number, but he didn't know exactly how many. But that's what we've all been thinking here, is that these security cameras, they're going through this, I would imagine, meticulously, the footage from those security cameras. But I will say, and this is odd in these sorts of situations, there is not a lot of police activity. Usually when there is a suspect on the loose in a case like this, This is a hive of activity, sirens, movement, we're being pushed aside. That's not happening here. So either they know where this suspect is or they are searching for this suspect in another place. But here at the Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa, there is not the kind of activity that you would expect if they were searching for somebody who was close by or in this neighborhood. They're not even road closures here. Marnie?
All right, Michael Schur live for us in Wisconsin at the scene of this shooting. As more develops, we'll be sure to come back to you. We appreciate the update tonight, Michael. Thank you.
Of course.